Nice to know.
Kazuyoshi Katayama.
Okay, maybe I was thinking of a different thing. I don't know.
All right. Well, anyway, we've been recording for almost an hour now. So, hello everyone, and welcome to Modular Components. It's the much anticipated, and by that I mean Buster has been reminding us about it. The 69th episode is here, everybody. I'm the Vacuuminator, and I'm of course joined by Buster Corp.
Hi.
And Boingo Rider is also here.
Hello.
I like how I'm introducing you second now. Like you're you're not also the co-founder. You're just some guy who works with us.
No. It's like when you have a big ticket item, a big ticket actor in a movie, and it goes through all the cast and it says, and including Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah. But given that it is the 69th episode, I think we probably should just get this out of the way, and you can join along in the comments if you want. So, fellas, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. All right, we did it. We can go home now. I'm going to bed.
All right. Bye.
That's everybody.
That's it. Modular is over. There's nothing else we could do.
We've peeped.
But no, it's been a heck of a week, boys. I won't lie, I've been going through some stuff on the IRL end, some of which you boys already know about, some of which I think most people will know about by the time this is out. Actually, I've been spending a lot of today going through my toy collection and kind of like parsing things out and cataloging and checking going prices on eBay, because I'm going to be selling not all, but a majority of my non-tokusatsu collection, because I'm in need of money to build a new computer as fast as possible because of a technical issue that I spent way too long trying to figure out if I could fix, only to discover the only way to fix it is to upgrade to Windows 11, and I don't have the specs for that.
Yeah. Some things fucking suck, you know?
Yeah, and it's a rough emotional kind of thing to do, because a lot of this stuff is stuff that either I had when I was a kid and I rebought because I wanted it, or I wanted to exist when I was a kid and I only just got it within like the last 5 to 8 years. And it's also kind of having to do the adult thing of just like understanding, like it sucks that I'm getting rid of these now, but I'm only 25. I'm not even like to a third of what current human life expectancy is, at least in America. And these are just things. They will always be around in one form or another, and I can always go out and get them again. And like, it's probably best that I do this anyway, because I do have a fair bit of debt going on that I need to pay off and have needed to pay off for a while now. And a lot of these things, because of that debt, I don't feel like I've actually earned, because either I bought them with the thing that I'm indebted to, or I spent money on them instead of paying off this debt. And I feel like because I'm doing this, it's giving me a nice kind of clean cutoff point to say like, okay, I'm doing this, and during the holidays, money is going to be very fast and loose because it's the holidays, but next year we're gonna be focusing on saving and paying off those credit cards. And if we do spend money on quote unquote frivolous things, it will be frivolous things like video equipment and whatnot to make my fucking content better. Because the fact that I'm building a new computer has actually had the positive side effect, or I'm getting ready to build a new computer. I've spent a lot of this week with like my mind firing off for ways I can like spend more time and different kinds of content I can do for my personal channel, because I've discussed it many times. I feel like I have to stay focused on tokusatsu for the foreseeable future, but like I was being very limited in my thinking of it, of like, oh, video on this show, video on this show, video on this show. And I still want to do that, but I'm also thinking of like, oh, I could do fucking top 10 fucking Power Ranger suit designs and shit like that. And like people would probably watch that. Or I could do because I talked about this on Twitter, like wrestling fans have this weird fascination with what the Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling should be. And like it's always something somebody has an opinion of. But I never see that with any other fandom. And so I was like, what would the comic book Mount Rushmore be? What would the tokusatsu Mount Rushmore be? And like there's both the creator side and there's the character side. And I kind of feel like I could get a video out of that at some point. Not saying like that's coming next year, but it's something I've been percolating on and thinking on, as well as just being like, okay, if I were to make just a video on this show, what do I actually have to say about it? Because I haven't seen this show or really thought super hard about it in a couple years, and I've been kind of enjoying that. So it's a bit of the good, a bit of the bad, and you take those things and you get the facts of life, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes removing a headache of obstruction is all you need to boost the creativity juices.
Yeah. Actually, like I've been thinking about like whenever you put those figures on sale to help you out by like taking them off you, and then maybe like whenever we build modular house, yeah, I can give them back.
I mean, it's entirely possible. I know I'm going to make sure I send the thread to Cody, because I was going through some stuff earlier today and I was like, oh yeah, Cody really wanted one of these and he never found one. I should probably make sure he sees that I'm selling it.
Yeah.
So I don't doubt that some of this will end up in friendly hands, but it's also going to be like, because the reason I say people should know about this, we record the show on Saturdays. I'm planning to post the sales spread tomorrow and be like, the cutoff is Friday night, because I want to get the stuff sold and shipped out by the beginning of next month, and whatever doesn't sell is going to the local vintage toy shop, because I know they'll still give me a good deal even if it's not exactly what I want.
Yeah.
And I want to have the new computer done by Halloween is kind of my goal. I want to be running again in time for the holidays.
Yeah. You know what parts
otherwise
you need, right?
It's going to be insanity. What?
You know what parts you need, right? You got like all that figured out.
I have a full parts list done, depending on, because prices do tend to jump around, just depending on things, it's probably going to be between $700 and $1,000.
Hey, so long as you also just understand what you can and cannot upgrade.
Yeah.
You won't have to like pour that much money down the drain next time, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, like, it's partially like, I could have ended up having to be like $2,000 or something crazy like that if I didn't have the help of you boys, because half of this parts list is shit that you sent me, Boingo. Like I took that parts list we had agreed upon and I modified it and went a little higher in a couple places, because I was like, well, this will be beneficial to me in the long run to spend a little extra here.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Hopefully it goes well. And I mean, if people are interested, you can always post in the comments, and maybe I'll post the full specs either once I have the computer done or as soon as I see that comment or something like that. But I don't want to unintentionally bore people with it, because I don't know if we have an audience of really techie people.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, apparently I can set video as my iPhone wallpaper. That's interesting.
Yeah,
That sounds like it would be really
drain.
distracting.
Yeah, probably will be really distracting. I'm just looking for a new wallpaper because my old one kind of lost luster.
That does remind me of like a weird childhood memory, though. Like, do you guys remember the second trailer for Iron Man 2 that ends with him putting on the suitcase armor set to the Black Sabbath song?
I think so, yeah.
No.
I was in love with that trailer when it dropped, and I remember asking a friend of the family who's like not blood related to me, but is basically an uncle and hung around a lot more often back then and is very tech savvy. I remember asking him, is there any way I could set like a specific video to play when I start my computer up and then turn into the background because I wanted to play like just that ending bit of the trailer and then have the desktop background of the computer be the Iron Man 2 logo.
Oh, that man.
It's adorable.
Yeah, that's like peak 2000s childhood.
Yeah. Well, that's like late 2000s.
Wait, yeah,
When the fuck did Iron Man 2 come out? I don't remember.
2010.
Oh, wow.
Because whenever they rushed it into production.
No, because 2008 was Iron Man 1. And it took 2 years.
Yeah, well, like, they still, like, fast-tracked the sequel.
Yeah, you're right. It was May 7th, 2010.
Bangarang.
I didn't catch the first Iron Man in theaters. My older sister and my dad went to see it, and they said they thought it was really good. But my family was that level of middle class where we're, like, on the line of being poor, so we didn't have the money for another trip to the theater at the time. So I just waited for it to hit DVD, and then I borrowed it from my local library, and that was my first exposure to the MCU. And because I enjoyed the first one so much, I haven't seen it in a long time. I need to go back. But my dad, my older sister, me, and that same friend of the family I was mentioning, we went to see it opening night. Like, we went to a midnight screening for Iron Man 2, and I thought it was the coolest movie at the time.
Yeah. I remember walking out of the theater for Spider-Man 3 going like, oh man, I can't wait for Spider-Man 4.
Oh, you poor soul.
I didn't see any of the Tobey movies in theaters, but
me neither.
I'm talking about this guy a lot tonight, but that same friend of the family got us a pirated DVD of that and Revenge of the Sith when they were still in theaters.
Oh, damn.
Like, actually looked pretty good.
Like, wow. Legit, when I walked out of the theater, I was convinced Green Goblin was gonna be revealed to have not died and be coming back and it's going like, oh, where's my son?
What the fuck?
I fucking came up with a whole fan fiction the second I walked out of the theater.
I would never have thought of that, but that does sound like an awesome movie now that you say it.
Dang.
Let's get Tobey back, boys. Let's get him back one more time.
We already got him back. You can't
Raimi memes. Get in here.
We already had the r/Raimi memes movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I like No Way Home. I don't really like. I get some problems.
I think if we're talking movies about Peter Parker, I think No Way Home is the best Spider-Man. If we're talking movies about Spider-Man as a concept in general, I think Into the Spider-Verse is the best Spider-Man.
Yeah, I think it's fine. Just No Way Home. It's not the best, not the worst. Just good fun.
And for anybody who's going to claim recency bias, before No Way Home came out, I would have said the best Spider-Man movie about Peter Parker is Amazing Spider-Man 2.
You're not wrong. I have very conflicting feelings about that movie, but you're not wrong.
I think the big thing about, like,
you. Why did I say you? I meant me.
I think the big thing about, like, oh man, Spider-Man in movies and, like, everyone's opinions about it is, like, there is no one Spider-Man. There's 50 different Spider-Men throughout all of the years, and acting as if one Spider-Man is more true to the character than any other is asinine.
I mean, if you think about it, there were technically two different Spider-Men from the jump, because there was Stan Lee's interpretation and there was Steve Ditko's interpretation.
Yeah. And, like, Steve Ditko's is very kind of, like, his idea of an objectivist hero, and Stan's is very much his idea of, like, for lack of a better way of describing it, a liberal hero who is just like, no, I want... With great power must also come great responsibility. You have the ability to do something, you need to do it.
I think of Stan's Spider-Man as, like, happy but determined, and I think of Steve's as angry but determined.
Yeah. Steve's is pissed off that he has to be Spider-Man. Stan's is like, Spider-Man gig isn't all it's cracked up to be, but I still get to be Spider-Man.
Exactly.
And I prefer that version of Spider-Man, to be honest.
I think most people do, because, like, that's always the sense I got of Spider-Man when I was watching adaptations as a kid. Like, that's kind of the way he's portrayed in the Raimi films, and that's definitely the way he's portrayed in the 90s cartoon.
Yeah, it's like Spider-Man is pain, Spider-Man is suffering, Spider-Man sucks. But Spider-Man also means you get to swing around New York, you get to help people, you get to be friendly, you get to be friends with Wolverine and the Reed Richards and the Human Torch. You get to be
he'll defend you pro bono.
Yeah. Like that's Spider-Man. It's the good and the bad, and if you focus too much on one element, it becomes unbalanced.
Okay, you know what this is reminding me of?
Marvel.
You know what this is reminding me of, oddly enough? Sonic the Hedgehog. I don't know. I guess because Sonic and Spider-Man fans are equal amounts of discourse. I don't know. But I'm trying not to pay attention to that anymore.
For lack of a better way of describing it, Spider-Man fans have so much discourse, I think probably since One More Day. That
just broke too many people.
That just broke too many people because until then it was always just like, oh, I prefer this Spider-Man. I prefer this time. And it's like, okay, cool, whatever. One More Day happened, and then editorial directly spat in the face of a good majority of Spider-Man fans and says, no, your Spider-Man is wrong. We are not doing that Spider-Man. Is when everyone just went like, oh, fuck you.
Yeah.
And Marvel has kept on doing that editorially ever since. Not to as great a degree as One More Day, but they have Civil War 2. The Inhumans push that basically committed another X-Men genocide.
Oh, I don't want to talk about
comic books are bad, guys.
Yeah.
Then every once in a while you read a really cool comic book and it's like, fuck yeah, comic books.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's me whenever I pick up some like cool indie shit.
Every week is like constant thanks to the internet and the fact that I constantly listen to back issues. It's just like constant reminders of, oh man, the comics industry is such a load of horse shit sometimes. And then Wednesday comes and there will be at least two books out that week that make me go, comic books are fucking awesome. And I'll ride that high for a couple days.
Yeah, I think that's like every industry. Like you have that awesome thing.
The problem is just American comic books is that like there is a ceiling that is wholly arbitrary for the comic book industry that is purely because it is not where people buy books, it is not where people buy things, and the formatting of American comic books makes it incredibly hard for a person of using pocket change to buy anything.
Yeah.
Comic books also have the problem of like, and they didn't used to be this way, but since I want to say like the late 80s, comic books have been kind of in a weird place where they're structurally and publicly similar to how we perceive and treat pro wrestling, where like there's a couple of companies right there up at the top, and it's like perceived as the only way to make money is to get to one of those companies. And also like you're like it's very much less so with comics these days, but there's always been that perception of if you're into comics, you're a bit of a weirdo and you have to go to a special store to buy comics. You can't go and buy them at a grocery store or at a newsstand if newsstands still existed. You can't just go to the local stadium and see your local wrestling promotion. You have to go to a fucking gymnasium somewhere or like a bingo hall or some shit like that. And if you want to see wrestling, you maybe get 1 or 2 chances a year if you don't want to drive outside your state.
It's we have lamented so many times about the American comic book industry. It's probably people who listen to this podcast regularly are probably like, oh god, this conversation again.
I mean, like, especially if you listen to No Prize, because I feel like we have that conversation at least every other week.
We have it at least once a month.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I just
if you like a thing and it's in a bad place and you can see clearly how it could be better, it's frustrating.
Yeah. And you
I think I argue the same with video games, honestly.
Yeah, like video games are a very similar situation of just like I'm not even saying it's like same problems, it's just more of like there is a very big, large, distinct problem that the average consumer has no bearing in, and so you are powerless to help, but you also feel like you are so intimately connected to it that you can do something.
And yet at the same time, comic books and video games are more popular than they've ever been with the majority of people. And you could make an argument that wrestling is starting to get there. Like
it'll never be Attitude Era again.
We are a far cry from the Attitude Era, but we are approaching a feeling like that again, and we have been since 2019.
I think we're gonna maybe like get back to like kind of like early 80s, late 70s peak.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where it's like everyone knows someone who watches wrestling, and it's just like, all right, cool, you watch wrestling.
Yeah.
All right. All I'm saying is we need more wrestlers to dress up as indie game characters.
I mean, that could happen. Most young wrestlers are also big gamers.
Yeah. I mean, Kid Bandit fucking streams League of Legends on Twitch every so often.
I was listening to Swerve Strickland's podcast today, and him and his co-host legit had a 10-minute argument about features that needed to be in the next Madden.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I have a little like side eye about a lot of gamer wrestlers. It's just like, oh, you're a jock gamer. You play Madden.
I mean, it's still valid. Like, Madden NFL football has been a franchise for a long time.
And also Madden 08.
To the point where if starting lineup starts doing football guys and and like they do people who have been on the cover of Madden, there's going to be a part of me that is tempted to just collect all the guys who have been on the cover of Madden, because isn't that an interesting thing to collect?
Okay, if they remove the NIF bullshit, I will buy the Vince Young figure.
But also get like the Madden cover that they're on and put it as a display.
Oh yeah,
and make the figure like in the pose that they're on.
There's like a whole Madden subline.
Yeah.
Build a figure of John Madden.
What I mean is like, what I mean when I say like jock gamer is like, it's not a pejorative. It's not like me like going like they're not real gamers. It's like looking at someone who's a film bro and go like, oh yeah, no, I love film. Oh, what's your favorite movies? Oh, Scarface, The Godfather, Fight Club,
Pulp Fiction.
You know, it's that kind of person. Where it's like, yeah, cool, you love this thing, you're engaged with it, but you love it not on a surface level, but you don't dive in the same way that other people have dived in.
It's like when somebody tells you their favorite comic is The Dark Knight Returns or Watchmen.
Yeah. Or oh yeah, no, I love Tokusatsu. I love Power Rangers. What do you mean there's more?
My favorite common writer is Gaim.
You know, it's for lack of a better way to describe it.
The reason why this year I'm like going all in on like indie and obscure toku.
Yeah, like that's the thing. We know, like, me and Vac are comic book guys, but we also, one of our favorite books going on right now is Do a Power Bomb.
Mm-hmm.
One of Vac's favorite comics of all time is Saga.
I was shocked at how much I loved the first issue of Vanish, and I can't wait to talk to you about it tomorrow.
Oh yeah, like we read weirdo in the indie books, but we also read the big things.
Yeah. Also, like I've been waiting for us to have a guest that's also into Tokusatsu and is like less idiosyncratic about it than Tim is, because I'm waiting for somebody to be like, you haven't seen, like, somebody to come on and not know I've not seen Double and be like, you haven't seen Double? And I can go, yeah, bitch, have you seen Carpio Man? Have you watched High School Heroes? Get on my level.
We do that every week on Twitch, though.
Yeah, but I'm not doing that to somebody. I'm just saying it in general.
I have somebody, you fool.
But you've also seen those things. It doesn't work.
Oh.
I wanna fucking have a rap battle about Tokusatsu cred is what I'm saying.
ultimately what we're having right now is a conversation about gatekeeping.
Yeah. We need to stop the gatekeeping. Like, just let people enjoy.
Here's the thing. I don't think people should gatekeep. I don't think we should gatekeep any kind of hobby or anything like that. I think the big concept is, rather than gatekeep, it's show your sources. Okay, cool. You want to talk about this thing? Show your sources.
And like, I'm not And I don't say those things like I wouldn't say, "Oh, I haven't seen Double. Have you seen Carpio Man?" I'm not saying that to be like you having not seen Carpio Man means you're not a real Tokusatsu fan. I'm saying that to be like different people get to different things at the time they get to them. Gatekeeping is fucking dumb. Don't try to gatekeep me.
But you also wouldn't fucking then go and try and make a video or like a critical analysis of Double.
Yeah. I'm not gonna start watching Futo PI as it's airing because people tell me it's good. Because I haven't seen Double.
Anime fans.
Yeah. Well, then again, I don't think any anime channel has talked about Futo PI.
Waiting for somebody to make a Futo PI video and pretend like they've been in the Kamen Rider for years. Because I am gonna fucking eviscerate that person.
I mean, there was like this one video trending. I don't want to like name call them that like I'm just like people were dunking on, but like I don't know.
I mean,
like
if people want to know how petty I can be and how much I love my friends, I'm still mad at Mother's Basement for stealing Boyle Rider's video about Gridman.
He didn't steal it. He probably was making it around the same time. It's just.
The guy is on my list. Still terrifies me in my nightmares. I just be sleeping and then like I hear Mother's Basement's voice. Gaim is on my list. Like and then I wake up.
Oh yeah, no. That guy ultimately say what you will about Gaim. I don't like it. Other people like it. I think the worst thing Gaim did is just ruin recommendations for Kamen Rider.
Gaim is the fucking Watchmen of Tokusatsu. Because, like, Watchmen's good, but you're only gonna really get it if you've been reading actual comics for a while. Not to say that Watchmen's not an actual comic, but the point of Watchmen is to comment on comics
the tropes
and superheroes as an industry and as a storytelling method.
Decade is Watchmen. Okay, no, that's probably not true.
No, Decade is Spider-Verse, but without the other characters.
Decade is Spider-Verse, but they didn't publish the last issue.
They didn't even wrote the last issue. Decade's case.
I mean, aren't they still making the last issue? Because he just shows up every once in a while and goes like, hey, my story's continuing.
Yeah.
I think Gio was the end of that.
I still say I love Decade as a character. I don't care for his show.
Yeah. Well, I'm reviewing it soon, so keep your pants on.
Buster will make their own opinions.
Yeah. I will. I'm just keep your pants on for like my take on Decade, which I think will be very interesting. Cause,
but it's not about gatekeeping. It's just like there is a level of you don't start playing basketball without knowing the rules.
Yeah, you need the fundamentals, man.
You can't play a game of basketball until you know how to dribble.
I don't immediately recommend Build to people, because I feel like while Build is like one of my favorites and has the fundamentals, it's just so good that I'm like, oh man, this is gonna ruin Kamen Rider for so many people.
But there's also like the aspect of like, Americans aren't used to watching Kamen Rider tropes, so why not our Tokusatsu tropes in general? So start them off with one that has the basics. Yeah,
like Double or O's.
Double O's. Fourze to an extent.
Yeah, although Fourze, like I think anime watchers can get into easily.
Fourze, yeah, it's relatively easy to get into for some people. That's the one I would always suggest people if like they go like, oh yeah, no, I like comedy, manga, and anime, and like that kind of stuff. It's like, oh cool, you want Kamen Rider, but as a sitcom, here you go.
Yeah, even then, I do think like if you like the suit enough, that will get you through the growing pains of getting used to the format, you know?
AKA the way to get into American comics.
Yeah, if you like the design or suit or personality enough, you will get used to it. Like, that's part of the reason why Blade was like, it was one of my earliest Rider seasons and how I was able to get into it, even if with the rough beginning. I just love the aesthetics of that show so much.
I mean, fellas, I've been a Supergirl fan since I was 10 years old. And I haven't had a full Supergirl comic that I genuinely loved until last year.
Oh yeah, this guy.
So, hey, everyone, if you want to hear more about that, go to youtube.com/SibPart2 and listen to the latest episode of Geeky Gentleman on Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. Because that'll be out by the time this is.
Oh yeah, send that to me. I'll just promote it in me server.
I will.
Yeah.
I mean, that could have also promoted it in the server.
I will. I'll promote it in every server. I'll promote, listener. I will promote it in your server. Invite me to your server so I can promote our shows.
That's something I've just like, now that I'm on a bigger fucking content creation kick of doing everything, I'm just like, how the fuck am I supposed to share this with people? Because no one wants to be advertised to.
I mean, that's why I kind of like Discord better than most social media platforms. Because Discord is and isn't a social media platform, but everybody has a self-promotion channel, a dedicated, hey, put your stuff here when you post a thing. If you want to show it off, post it here. And anybody who's interested in finding new stuff can check this channel for potentially maybe something they'd be interested in. And, like, nowhere on the internet else really has that. Like, if you go on Reddit, there's most excuse me, most subreddits have rules against self-promotion, and you have to do it in very clever ways. If you go on Facebook and you post in a group, there's rules about it. I don't remember how it is on Tumblr anymore. It's been too long. But on Twitter, you just basically stuff the tweet full of hashtags, and it looks like a bit of an eyesore.
And then there's also just the aspect...
Twitter suppresses links.
Yeah. There's also just a pure aspect of... How to best describe it? What is and is not self-promotion purely depends on the medium you're using.
Yeah.
So, an artist doing some fan art and posting it in the subreddit, that's not self-promotion. But a video creator making a video essay about a piece of work is self-promotion because it's a video.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that's a double standard and they should be treated as self-promoting dipshits as well. No. I understand there's a difference. It's just more of the difference is a little eh.
That also speaks to a larger problem of, weirdly, a lot of people don't consider criticism art. And it is. And that's literally like a debate that was settled in the fucking 1800s. And yet
Time
people
is gonna loop again and again.
And yet people who watch YouTube still go like, how are you making money just reviewing things, just talking about things? You're nobody, you're nothing. There's people who talk about Dave Meltzer and are like, this guy, how is this guy the authority on pro wrestling? How is he able to make money by assigning arbitrary star ratings to matches? It's because he's been in the industry doing legitimate journalism for decades, and he has all these connections and credentials, and that's what people on YouTube are trying to be. Being on YouTube is like the entry level of being somebody who does reviews for a magazine or a newspaper. It's saying, that's what I want to do because I feel passionate about these things. I want to speak about them, and I want to hopefully incite positive change in these things. And this is the easiest and best way I can see to do it. So it is expressing yourself, and what is art other than a form of self-expression?
This is the third episode in a row about content creation. I think
we're content creators.
we need to back off, or else it gets repetitive for the audience. But
yeah, I mean that was like a different thing than what we've talked about before. Before we've talked about.
I think we're not like the third act. We're like, we've been through the ringer, and now we're stronger and going like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
We know what we're doing. We just gotta fucking do it.
Yeah, I've been writing stuff.
I mean,
I wrote an entire video in like an afternoon, and I'm like, I feel so powerful.
But hey, I mean, like, I've been getting a good couple Twitch followers past couple days.
Yeah,
that's nice.
So I'm like almost at 200.
200. Oh, what are you gonna do for 200?
I have no idea.
Dang.
I don't even know what the fuck I'm gonna be doing the next week.
I don't know if 200 is a momentous enough number. I feel like you should wait for 500.
I'll do a small thing for 200.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, it doesn't need to be a big celebration. I don't know. But
I don't know. I always felt like on YouTube it was, you get to 100 subscribers, you celebrate, you get to 500, you celebrate, you get to 1,000, you celebrate, and then lather, rinse, repeat, you know?
My viewpoint is this. You celebrate every time you double the last big momentous number. unless it can be rounded up easily to a 5.
I see. So you would celebrate 1s, 2s, and 5s.
Yeah, so like you hit 100 followers, then it's 200 because we doubled that number. Wow. But then you double it again, that's 400. Wait 100 more and you hit 500. Sweet. Then you double that number, 1,000. Oh my god. Double it again, 2,000. Wow. Double it again, 4,000. Oh no. Then you hit 5,000. Oh wow, that's a big number. Yeah, 1s, 2s,
quick
5s.
maths.
Yeah, but like 1, 2s, and 5s. You're right. That's my kind of mindset. 1, 2s, and 5s.
You know, I actually kind of agree with that. You won me over very easily. Congratulations.
Oh
wow.
And then whenever you get like a fun number, you just go like, hey, yeah, cool. 420, hell yeah.
Blaze it! I still do that in my head whenever I see a 420. I've never done weed in my life. I don't.
Me neither.
I'm not into drug culture, but 420 is just such a universal thing that whenever I see the 420, my brain automatically goes, haha, blaze it.
Blaze it.
Almost like how when you see the number 69, your mind automatically goes, nice, I brought it around!
Yeah!
Nice.
And we can end the episode here. No, we can't.
How long have we been going?
Not long enough.
Yeah, not long enough.
Yeah,
only for like 30 minutes.
Yeah, that was probably like 30, 40 minutes.
Dang, we peaked early. What are we gonna do?
I don't know. What do high school prom king and queens do with the rest of their lives?
Oh no.
Yeah, a case by case basis.
Become cops and nurses.
Oh, I did not know that. Well, it makes sense, but I did not know that.
I mean, generally. I'm sure there are prom king and queens who have done great things later in life. It's just not the stereotype.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. This is just reminding me of how trash I feel. For some reason.
That's not to say that nurses don't do great things.
Yeah. Now, cops on the other.
Oh, bro. I can't fucking say it here because I try and keep this stuff as private as possible, but I have a fucking police story from earlier this week that you guys need to hear after the episode.
Gotcha.
But I don't know what's going on in current events we could possibly talk about because I feel like it's just waiting for PulseCon.
Yeah, we'll have the PulseCon episode, and like
I really hope
we can grab Cody for that. That'll be very interesting to hear his thoughts.
I put the worm in his ear last time we talked, which was a couple days ago. But I might have to just be like texting him all day Friday. It'll be like, so you're gonna show up tomorrow, right? You're gonna show up, right? We're gonna look at that. Look at what they just revealed. We're gonna talk about that tomorrow, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, one of the big Power Rangers revealed already leaked. I'm like, what you gonna do?
Yeah,
but also
it's so hype that it's hype in a way that like I'm happy I've seen it now, and I'm excited to hear what the designers have to say about it.
Yeah, that'll be very interesting. Especially, oh god, I'm still scared about the possibility of a NIFT.
But I mean, Snowcone's got a new job, so time's probably gonna let up a little bit.
Yeah. Sorry for. I feel bad for like pushing Cody.
He's gonna have much more normal hours.
Nice.
Yeah. Like more normal hours than I do.
Damn. Also, what Netflix shows are you watching? That
staying up till 3 a.m. every night. Here I am staying up till 3 a.m. every night trying to frackin' edit videos.
Nice. Also, Vac, I asked earlier, but like, you've been watching any extra Netflix shows or?
I'm just trying to finish Punisher on Disney Plus right now. And honestly, I'm probably gonna watch Dino Fury Season 2 Part 2 and then immediately cancel my subscription. Because I heard about the shit with I forget the name of it, but the Neil Gaiman show.
Oh, Sandman.
Yeah, I heard about the way Sandman went out, and that really annoyed me. And this has just been a year to be annoyed at Netflix in general. And like most of the stuff I actually want to watch on there, I could probably find with my eye patch really easily.
Yeah.
I mean, they are making the season 2 of Sandman, and Neil Gaiman's just gonna shop it around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm very excited. I really want to watch Better Call Saul right now, and it is all right there on Netflix. But like, that's a that's another $15 I'd give them in order to watch that in a month. And I don't know if October is even the right month to watch it in. So I'm just gonna put that off till next year.
Just get a Shudder subscription for October.
Actually, my only real plans for October is I'm going to reread World War Z because I haven't read it in like a year and a half, and I'm feeling like it's about time. And I might dress up and go to work in costume.
Which costume?
I'm thinking I might try and pull off Obi-Wan Kenobi because I think there will probably be a few costumes, a few like easy costumes, inexpensive costumes in stores. Given that we just had the Disney Plus show.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
I'm not even sure if I want to do anything for Halloween. I was just thinking of just buying a Kamen Rider belt and like going casual.
You say that like you don't have a Kamen Rider belt.
I only have one.
But like Sogo is super easy to dress up as. You just get a fucking
I already did Sogo 1 year.
Oh, you did? I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah,
send me pictures of that.
No, I didn't take any pictures. It was I don't know. I don't know. It was a weird Halloween that year. I don't know. Like I need maybe I'll do Yeats because that's an easy driver to get on low, like good price, and like it'll get to me before Halloween.
I did almost go as Aruto the year 01 was on, and I had all the stuff. I just like didn't. Life was in a weird place that year, so I ended up skipping Halloween. And then I was like, oh well, I'll wear that as cosplay to the local toy show. And then the local toy show got canceled because of COVID.
Yeah. I don't know. I need Yeats might be hard to pull off, though. Might do Buffa. But, like, then again, I might have to... Buffa would be hard, too. Buffa's action.
What are you talking about? It's not hard. Just pay $200 for their stupid coats on Premium Bandai.
Coats are not stupid.
Yeah.
They look like goddamn rain parkas.
They're tech wear. They're supposed to.
Doesn't look cool.
They do look cool, but God, they don't look around like a Tokulectable.
Guys, that's tech wear.
Look, you're talking to somebody who wanted to buy one of the Gaim hoodies at one point.
Yeah, I know they're still selling them. Like a friend of mine on Twitter just bought it. Mutual, I should say.
To be honest, I probably would buy Baron's coat, but that's just because it's a discount version of Marvelous's coat.
Yeah, I need to find Sento's coat. That should be easy to find, like a cheap version of that.
The tricky thing with Toku clothes is finding something that looks cool and will look cool on you. Because, like, Marvelous's coat is fucking awesome, but, like, you can't wear that casually. That's not, like, something you could just wear out.
Yeah.
You could.
I could do Sento casually.
You want a coward.
I think I could do Sento casually, but I would also need a build driver. But I'm not sure if I should wait for Super Best in May, or if I should just, like, get one now. I'm looking at Amazon.
How much are they going for right now?
Super Best is like $70.
What's an original one? Let me check eBay. Okay.
Like Amazon has it.
Who is selling just the driver? Jesus.
Okay, there's two versions of it. There's the like Korean version for like $70, and the original one for like $130.
I don't know if this is This says Japan in the title, but I can't tell if it's the Korean or the Japanese version. But this one is $72. Buy it now, and it looks like it's sealed.
Let me look at this. I'll look into it. I'll look into this.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
Yeah, then I might just wait for Super Best because that's like an affordable price, and also just probably
you can get most everything in one go. Like the only thing you'd absolutely need that you can't get out of the Super Best line is the Genius bottle.
Yeah. Oh, and the Evil Driver, but that's like for other people.
But the Evil Driver isn't an absolute need. It's a premium villain thing.
Yeah, but you know me.
I know you like Evil, but it doesn't make him an absolute necessity of the basic toy line.
He's a necessity for me, damn it. Yeah, but I think I'll look into what other belts do they have. I do 01. 01 could be an easy one.
I like Kamen Rider Wizard. I'm not going to tell anybody they have to have a white wizard driver to have a complete and perfect wizard collection. Though it doesn't handle quite a bit because almost all the rings have different sounds.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. We're just discussing Halloween costumes and common under belts at this point. I don't know what this podcast.
That's what this podcast is.
That's what this podcast is.
That's what this podcast is. It is not that based. Actually, it is very based by a certain lens of view. How much is 1,000?
I mean,
always wanted to get
it can only be as popular as the people that want to watch it.
Yeah, we'll influence people to watch it by like, hey, watch our podcast, then leave. We just go to people's houses, just hand them a QR code, just run away. Anything we're excited for, like media wise, in October?
Owl House.
Yeah, Owl House is back. That will be the last episode of this year, and then they're gonna do the last 2 next year.
I can't wait to watch Camilla beat the fucking shit out of Bellis with a baseball bat.
Yeah. What else? Also, Chainsaw Man, the anime starts in October. So I'm excited to get all the... I'm mostly excited for Chainsaw Man because they have, like, so much music, and I'm like, I want to eat all the music. Because I've already read the manga, and I'll probably, like, tune into clips of the anime, but I just want to listen to all the tunes.
I don't know. There's nothing I'm super excited about, you know what I mean?
Yeah, fair. And also, like, money.
It's also I don't think that far ahead now. I have to think a week ahead at a time.
Yeah.
Because I have to think of like, okay, cool, what am I gonna stream? What am I gonna do? I have to make an episode of Geeks every week. I'm gonna stream every week. What am I gonna stream? Do I need to make a chatting thing? Do I need to make a slideshow? Which I'm starting to think I might be doing one next week. Don't quote me on that. You'll know by the time this comes out.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's kind of one of the things that would keep me from being a VTuber or even just a human streamer. Is like I can still remember like Maury's first episode of Trash Taste where she told them like, yeah, her life is pretty much she gets up, she streams, and then she immediately starts making clips and thumbnails, and that's her day half the week. And I'm like, that sounds horrible.
Oh, yeah. Here's the thing. That's why you need to be extra funny for other people to make clips for you. But also, yeah, to an extent that does happen. But if you're smart about it, you can always streamline the process. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean like that's a thing with anything. You were you were fucking chastising me about not learning keyboard shortcuts and editors for the same reason. I know it would make things way quicker. It's just it would take me forever to get them all down.
You don't need to get them all down. You don't need to memorize every single keyboard shortcut. You just need to know the 5 you'll need. Like, real quick, how do you copy?
Right-click, copy, right-click, paste here.
No. Control-C, Control-V.
I mean, with text that works. That doesn't usually happen with clips for me.
For what? For, like, videos?
Yeah.
No, that works.
Okay.
And, like, a lot of programs? And, like, editing? Yeah, that should work. And then you have, like, at least for Windows, you have Windows V, which opens up your entire clipboard and shows the last few things you copy-pasted, which is always handy.
Interesting.
I'm pretty sure on most Chromium things, it's Control Scroll is zoom in and out. Yeah, no, it's just, like, little things can help alleviate stuff, you know? Part of my brain just does not like things being non-optimized. Like, it can be dumb fuck, but it needs to be smart dumb fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just because if I can edit a video in 3 hours instead of 5 hours, which would you rather have?
Oh, definitely 3 hours. But it's going to take me like 3 months to get to the point where I can do it in 3 hours if I'm trying to learn a whole new skill, which keyboard shortcuts practically are to me.
I mean, it's a button. You just gotta keep a little memory set in your head of like, okay, what button? Hey, on the keyboard, what button pauses a YouTube video?
The space bar.
K. K pauses. L skips forward 10 seconds. J skips backwards 10 seconds. And if you are paused, the greater than or less than symbols skip a frame.
See, I literally only kind of know that because I've noticed those things when I sometimes accidentally press the keyboard having selected the wrong window.
See, that's the difference between me and you. You are the monkey that just looks at the monolith and goes like, "Yep, that's a monolith." I'm the one that goes up and pokes it.
And occasionally, when the monolith isn't doing anything particular monolithy, I'll be like, "Why isn't this monolith acting like a monolith?" And then I'll dig through like 5 Google searches to figure it out.
Monkeys.
And then I'll just be there going like, "It's been doing this monolith thing. It does that? Yes, it does that."
Where do I fit into this monkey metaphor?
I don't know. Do you know keyboard shortcuts?
Half and half.
How do you copy and paste something?
Control C, and then you paste it with Control V.
There you go. Look, Buster knows something. What button do you press to pause a YouTube video?
Spacebar.
Oh, you press K.
Oh, okay.
Because J and L skip backwards and forward 10 seconds.
Yeah.
No, it's been a fucking fantastic keyboard shortcut for me. In VLC, when you have a video playing, if you pause it and you press E, it skips forward a frame. You hold down E, it plays the video in like a little bit faster than playback speed, and then you undo it, it won't keep playing. You just press the E button until you get to the right frame you want, and I've been using that for Gateway to Geeks.
Nice.
That's why keyboard shortcuts are so good.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, if there's a possibility for something to be done easily, do it easily. If it's like easily and lazily, do it. Because honestly, like, how much time do you waste just moving the mouse across the screen? Think about it.
Probably like 2 to 10 seconds.
Yeah. And you do that how many goddamn times? And then you have to be precise, so you have to slow down. When instead you could just press a button, you immediately go to the next thing you need to.
I don't know. It's a conundrum. I'll give it
like
that.
Even with my new with the web browser I've been using, I also got mouse shortcuts. I can refresh my page by like holding the left button, going up and going down and letting go. I can do gestures with my mouse. I am on a weird level. I realize this. Not everyone needs this.
I also feel like you're flexing on us to an uncomfortable degree at this point.
I'm just trying to show you how things can be done faster.
It's true. But like, also the entire time I've been scrolling Reddit, and because of that, a rant has been brewing in my head about people doomsaying the fucking HasLab engine of vengeance because we didn't hit the fucking earlier bird thing. But I'm not gonna say it here because it's more appropriate for No Prize. So go watch this week's No Prize, everybody. Maybe I'll do it there. Anyway, let's talk about James Earl Jones not voicing Darth Vader.
I mean, let the man retire.
Yeah. And like he said, he's giving full approval for them to do the computer voice thing. And if he's okay with it, then I think everybody should be okay with it.
I still hate it in concept, but I'm begrudgingly okay if he signs off on it. Begrudgingly.
Like,
okay?
I mean, here's the thing. Ultimately, new technology is going to keep happening. The best way to handle it is to know how to recognize it and abuse it.
I mean, it's ostensibly the same thing as that little oh god, what's the word? That filler episode early on in 01 about how there's a law in that world about you can't make a humagear that's an exact copy of somebody.
Yeah.
It's like you have to manage that. This is a likeness rights issue. It has to be officially signed off on. And like, I understand why people are still mad to this day about Peter Cushing and Rogue One, because the fact of the matter is the man's long gone and he couldn't give his approval. Yes, his estate did, but that's not the same thing.
Yeah. Like, and also, like, my thing is also, like, Hayden Christensen's working on Star Wars products. If you need a Darth Vader cameo, just get him.
I mean, physically, sure. And
but
if you're doing
Hayden Christensen do that voice, though?
No.
Fine. Correct. But, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
I think it would be cool if they... Because I think they did this in a couple of scenes of Obi-Wan. Have Hayden read the lines, but then filter on top of that the computer James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, here's the thing. A lot of that stuff isn't from fucking wholesale. You gotta have input.
Yeah. And like I know, like with the whole the deep fake Luke thing that we ranted about. I know like Mark Hamill did sign on that. I just
Mark
hate it in
Hamill fucking
content.
did the body acting for that.
Yeah.
And ultimately, they've been doing that since. If you want to be technical, they've been doing stuff like that since. When
X3?
did X-Men 3? Yeah.
They're
just using new technology to help it.
I'm just worried that like under the worst circumstances, like bad circumstances, unethical circumstances, like we can get more Peter Cushings in Rogue One than odd, but like I just don't want any more Peter Cushings in Rogue One. Is what I'm saying.
For what it's
you can't live your life.
Worth, everything I've heard about Peter Cushing in interviews from actors who have worked with him, he sounds like the kind of guy who would have signed off.
Maybe, I don't know.
Here's the thing: you can't live your life by the worst possibility, because if you do, then you're not living life.
I guess.
Because you're never going to step outside for fear of the unknown. In that principle, I'm just saying, like, anything can be used in the worst possible way. But them things can just be used in a way.
Yeah. I don't know, I still don't like it, but fine. Whatever. I don't want to get into the debate again. I'm already like feeling stressed about other outside factors and just don't want to get stressed on the podcast.
It's just, I don't know. I'm tired of living like a fucking cynic because corporations do shit.
I get that. I'm trying to like balance my. I feel like I'm too cynical.
We live in a weird era that kind of. We've been through a long time of people being overwhelmingly negative because of the state of the world. And I think Boingo and I are both in a similar position of we're tired of being tired of it. Can we just start enjoying things again and working toward a better world?
Here's the thing. You can acknowledge the bad while still enjoying it, right?
Isn't that what fucking prequel and Raimi memes their entire oeuvre?
I guess, like, I'm just so...
Like, here's the thing. Tamers is still one of the best seasons of Digimon. Did the creator become a fucking weirdo? Yeah. Dark Knight Returns is still one of the best Batman stories of all time. Was it written by Frank Miller? Yeah. It still doesn't make it not a good story.
Yeah,
Harry Potter was a big part of people's childhoods. Is it problematic? Yeah. Doesn't mean they don't still have those happy memories.
Yeah, I get that. I know.
And
I feel like I'm too, I feel like I'm this weird in between of positive and cynic. I'm too positive for the cynics, but I'm too cynical for the positives. It's just, I don't know.
I think it's the pick and choose, you know? Like,
yeah.
It's because it's everything's a battle. Everything's a fucking contest of what's right, what's wrong.
Contest of champions.
Of morality, of all those kind of things, of like, and no one can just fully accept that things are just gray, so you have to justify that the thing you like or the thing your opinion is true and honest and virtuous and all that kind of stuff, when nothing truly ever is.
I know.
Like, there's so many examples you can go down. Oh, vegans think they're virtuous because they don't eat meat. Guess what? You're fucking creating droughts because of the amount of versions of food you are eating. Ultimately, just is not sustainable at this point because you're not eating local food in a sustainable way. You know? Like, oh, cool, you don't eat animals. Sweet. How are you protecting the environment? Or like the numerous of people who go like, oh yeah, no, fucking I'm going green. Well, corporations cause most of the greenhouse gases and most of the pollution in the world, so how exactly are you affecting it in a grand scale? Are you initiating greater scope within your community? No, you're just using reusable bags at the grocery store? Well, is everybody in your community? No, just you? Cool.
You bought an electric car. Okay, that's good, but what else?
Yeah, like, and that's the thing, because people rest on laurels, people rest on concepts, and morality is not as black and white as everyone wants it to be, and everyone acts as if it's black and white as it is.
And in conclusion, that is why Steve Ditko is a fucking bitch.
Yeah. That's why Stan Lee is the true Marvel master, because he wrote good stories and acknowledged that he was a shitbag. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I can kind of see it.
Stan Lee knew exactly what the fuck he was doing with Marvel. I'm gonna tell fun stories with characters that are neat and everything. I'm also going to rake you over the coals for your money.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, for as much shit as we give him, he never tried to do it for Ditko, there is like a public record of him trying to apologize to Jack Kirby.
Yeah. I think the big thing is Ditko just burned bridges.
Mm-hmm. I think Ditko didn't want an apology. I think he just wanted to be a fucking way from that guy.
Ditko just wanted to be correct. He didn't want to be vindicated. He just wanted to be right.
Yeah.
He did not give a shit.
Mm.
I don't know. It's just I'm tired of the black and white dichotomy of no, this thing has to just be good or just be bad. It's just like, no, there's everything's good and bad. Is it kind of weird that they're just reusing dead actors with Hollywood technology? Sure.
Is that emblematic of a larger systemic problem of Hollywood not being more open to original ideas and concepts? Probably. But like, I'm tired of having that conversation.
But here's the thing: is it any grosser? Is it any worse than like hiring a brand new actor and then just dressing them up and putting them in makeup to make them look like the old dead actor?
Yeah, I mean, like, fucking.
That's more ethical, apparently. But like, is it any worse? Is it like
by Disney's monetary standards, nobody went to see Solo, but enough people went to see Rogue One, and I'm not saying that's indicative of those movies' quality. Personally, having now seen both of them exactly one time, I think they're on par with each other in terms of quality. But I think that's the way Disney sees it, because Disney is a large capitalist megacorporation.
Yeah. And like, again, the thing people always bring up is like, oh yeah, Disney's not your friend. They did these gross things, you know? And like they're not anybody's friends, and why are you believing all their virtue signaling? Because they're two separate entities in the fucking company. Mm-hmm. You don't blame someone from fucking California for the shit they're pulling in Florida.
I can like and support the Owl House, and I can still be fucking mad at Disney for trying to tone down the gayness in the Owl House.
Yeah, no. It's push and like there's no yes, there's no, it's maybes. Everything's a maybe.
Mm-hmm. It's everything is a it depends question if you think hard enough.
Yeah. And like because if you just keep going with the black and white dichotomy of like anything, everything just falls a fucking apart. Like imagine this. Is Image good? Well, I mean, they did do a lot for independent creators' rights and all that kind of stuff, but it was founded on the idea that Todd McFarlane basically convinced all of his friends to get away from their very secure jobs into a very risky venture that ultimately failed in like 2 years.
Honestly, like you bringing that up reminds me of a conversation I had with a friend who's a little older than me back when the first White Knight miniseries was coming out, Batman White Knight. And I was telling them about it, and they were like, yeah, that sounds really good, man. I don't know. I have a hard time trusting writer artist things because of early Image. And I was like, well, I get it, but this guy is completely unrelated to the early Image crowd. And also, like, if you think about it, we kind of needed early Image to happen in order to go through the teething period in the comic book industry to get to a point where writer, artist, no editor projects could actually be good and interesting. We needed those bad examples to learn what not to do. And he was like, I guess that makes sense. Because that's how comic book conversations go.
You make one good argument and everyone shuts up.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Superman could beat the Flash in a foot race. The fucking Speed Force exists.
Guess what? I'm writing that Superman wins against the Flash.
Because Wally's or Barry or fucking whoever has the suit this week is a nice guy.
Like, legitimately, Stan Lee said that once. It's like, someone asked him a power scaling question of who would win, and Stan Lee just looks at the camera and says, whoever I say wins.
It's Dude, it's literally the last issue of Animal Man. You're not a vegetarian. I'm a vegetarian, and I wrote you to be a vegetarian.
And the person who's going to write you next will probably ignore it. Dude, Shaggy from Scooby-Doo was a vegetarian for decades. Decades!
Because
of Casey
Kasem
Kasem. Because of Casey Kasem. Casey Kasem passed the role onto the current voice actor who played Shaggy in the movies.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? Shaggy's not a vegetarian anymore.
Yep.
Because it's not important.
Oh, man. You bringing up Casey Kasem also reminds me of, like, a story I heard back when I used to listen to voice acting podcasts a lot.
Yeah.
I forget who was telling the story, but it was some guy who worked with Casey Kasem back in the 80s. And it was like, this was like a voice director guy. And he was like scheduling some sessions and whatnot. And Casey Kasem said, "Oh, I'm going on vacation." And he was like, "Oh, okay, I'll try and schedule your stuff for a few weeks out. Just let me know when you're back." A few weeks go by. Casey Kasem walks into his office and goes, "Hey, man, I'm back." And he misheard him and thought Casey Kasem said, "Hey, man, I'm black." And he laughed and went, "Casey, everybody knows you're black. Why are you making that joke? That's a really weird, obtuse joke." And Casey got super offended and just walked out. And it wasn't until a week later that the guy realized he had misheard him and had to call him back and apologize to start scheduling his sessions again.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. It's a funny old world, ain't it?
Yeah, sometimes things like that happen, you know?
Mm-hmm. Oh, man. So, have we filled an hour yet, or do we need to think of more shit to talk about?
I don't fucking know.
Because Buster pieced out like 10, 15 minutes ago, everyone. So, hey, follow Buster Bluey Free on Twitter, subscribe to Buster Corp on YouTube.
Yep. I don't know. The world is fuck. Everything's shit. But you gotta fucking look at the good shit.
Like I said, hey, it goes back to the little personal ramble I went on at the start. I'm selling a lot of my collection right now, and it sucks to do that, but I'm gonna get a new awesome computer out of it. And there's nothing that says in 2, 5, 10, 15 years when I'm more financially stable, I can't go back and rebuy all of it.
Yeah.
It's all transitory, baby. We're all gonna turn to dust one day, so you might as well take the good with the bad. Just get on with it.
Yep.
And on that note, Boingo, where can people find you?
You can find me on twitch.tv/Boingo Writer. You can also find me on YouTube, Boingo Writer. I make a weekly video series called Gateway to Geats, where I review, talk about, and analyze every single episode of Kamen Rider Geats as they are coming out, as well as other video essays and editorials that you may or may not be interested in, you know?
Yeah.
You can also find me on a variety of social media platforms, including Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram at Boingo_Rider.
Hey everybody, I'm the Vacuuminator. I try to make YouTube videos about Tokusatsu, but it's been a very trying summer. Hopefully, once I have this new computer, I'll be able to get out a couple videos during the holiday season. I really would like to get out one kind of general video about a show that I've been promising my patrons for a few months. And then I would really like to actually get out a Christmas video on time this year. I have an idea for one, but we'll talk more about that in the future. For now, just go check out my backlog at youtube.com/thevacuuminator. Follow me on Twitter at thevacuuminator. And if you want to check out some of my action figure photography, because I do still have a lot of photos I have not yet posted of my collection to post, at _vacuuminator on Instagram.
But yeah.
That's going to do it for this episode of Modular Components. Please remember to support the show by leaving us a like, commenting down below, subscribing to the channel, and ringing that bell in order to enable notifications and get all of our podcasts delivered to you as they happen. There's, of course, this show where we hang out and shoot the shit, sometimes with guests. There's No Prize Podcast, which we've actually referenced quite a few times this week. It's where we talk about the MCU and general comic book happenings. And then there's Twit, or This Week in Tokusatsu, where myself and Buster talk about general tokusatsu happenings in the week. So go check out all those things. Follow us on Twitter at the Modular Media and join the subreddit r/Modular Media. And that's going to do it. So thanks for hanging out with us, everyone. Hope to see you back here next week for more.
Yeah.
You have to do the thing.
I do have to do the thing. I'm so used to me doing the thing.